sent there by Brâncoveanu, and in 1716 Hrisanotara published a book called Introductio ad Geographia et Spheram, which had chapters on trigonometry, astronomy, and sciences. We can safely say that this is the first science book ever published in the Romanian territories. Hrisanotara was a scientist. He conducted observations, and I found his signature on the tables at the Paris Observatory. He also worked with the observatory in Padua, in London, and apparently in Moscow as well. And still, he went up the church hierarchy to become the Patriarch of Jerusalem. He made a compromise in that he presented the Ptolemaic model and the Copernicus model as two versions of understanding the universe. I see this as a compromise because I find it impossible for a man who works with the Paris and Padua and London astronomical observatories not to realize that the Copernicus model was the correct one.
Astronomy in what is today Romanian territory was a hobby as well as a scientific effort of those in search for explanations about the physical and spiritual world. The conflict between religion and science was actually stemming from the same pursuit of truth in Europe and in the Romanian principalities alike, and that was the History Show.
Next on Radio Romania International, Think Greener.
Welcome to Think Greener. I'm Cristina Mateescu. According to specialized surveys, Romania's most polluted cities are Bucharest, Brașov and Iași. Air quality measurements in Bucharest have revealed alarming pollution indexes. Road traffic remains the main pollution factor in cities, together with construction sites that do not comply with environmental regulations and the absence of green areas. The World Health Organization recommends 50 square meters of green area per capita, whereas Romania only has 20 square meters of green spaces. And according to conservationists, the situation is even gloomier in Bucharest, where the green areas stay at around 10 square meters per capita. Surveys also show that 23,000 Romanians are killed by pollution-related diseases every year. Last year, Romania was brought before the European Court of Justice for having failed to implement measures to keep pollution at bay. The measure prompted Romania last year to come up with an integrated plan for air quality, which is a strategic document aimed at curbing pollution in its capital city. In the meantime, the Organization for Promoting Alternative Transportation in Romania has initiated a campaign entitled A Right to Air, urging the people of Bucharest to get their city hall involved in projects meant to raise the quality of air in the country's capital city. Here is now Irina Zamfirescu from the association with more on the issue.
Această campanie a noastră, Dreptul la Aer, vizează tocmai acest plan integrat de calitatea aerului. El a fost adoptat.
Our campaign, A Right to Air, is focusing precisely on this integrated plan for air quality, which was adopted on pressure from the European Union. Before that, the municipality hadn't taken any measure whatsoever in order to avoid the infringement, which means significant fines applied to cities like Bucharest, Brașov and Iași. The Environment Ministry and the City Hall came up with this integrated plan so that we may avoid future infringement. Through this campaign, however, we'd like to convince the City Hall to give up this integrated plan, which we believe is not in line with Bucharest's actual needs in terms of pollution reduction, because it has been based on measurements conducted in 2013, so it is out of date. What we intend is to come up with an alternative plan, one that can thoroughly meet this objective. So there is an online petition in which citizens are informed about our initiative and are invited to provide support signatures. And that was Think Greener.
Next in this program, sports.
Welcome, I'm Eugen Nasta with the latest from women's handball, indoor athletics, rugby and football. The situation of Romanian women's handball team CSM Bucharest in the Champions League main Group 2 is getting complicated. CSM sustained a 22-23 away defeat by Slovenian opponents Krim Ljubljana. Ahead of the last round in the main group stage, CSM are third placed in the group, on a par with the fourth place team Hungary's Ferencváros. CSM has already booked its ticket in the quarterfinals, but is to find out its opponent according to its place in the final rankings. If they eventually come third in the group, CSM will be pitched against the second-place team in the other group, most likely Russian team Rostov-Don. In the last round this coming Friday, CSM Bucharest faces German squad Thüringer. News from indoor athletics now. The European Athletics Indoor Championships have recently drawn to a close in Glasgow. The Romanian delegation, made up of 12 athletes, walked home with no medal. This past Sunday, Alina Rotaru provided the best result for the Romanian delegation, coming in fifth with a 6.64-meter jump in the final of the long jump event. The other Romanian athlete who got through to the final, Florentina Marinku Iușco, came in eighth with a jump of 6.49 meters. The gold medal went to Serbia's Ivana Spanovic, who succeeded the jump of 6.99 meters. In Madrid this past Sunday, Romania's national rugby squad sustained an 18-21 defeat by Spain, in a fixture counting towards the Rugby Europe Championship. It is the second defeat for the Romanian rugby team in the competition. Interesting to mention, though, is that the Romanians had a 13-0 lead during the game. For the Romanian lineup, Ionuț Dumitru and Vladut Zaharia succeeded tries on 7 and 68 minutes respectively. Then Florin Vlaicu converted 2 penalty kicks and managed a successful conversion. Spain managed 3 tries, all of them successfully converted. We go out with news from football, as this past weekend saw matches counting towards the 26th round of League One, the last round of the regular season. Qualifying for the playoffs was CFR Cluj, FCSB, Universitatea Craiova, Astra Giurgiu, Viitorul Constanța and Șepși Sfântu Gheorghe. The teams that have got through to the playout were FC Botoșani, Poli Iași, Dinamo, Hermannstad, Gazmetan, Dunărea, FC Voluntar and Concordia Chiajna. And that's all from Sports Roundup today. You can follow our sports items at rri.io and on Facebook.
You are listening to Radio Romania International.
Next in this broadcast, it's Your Music, with me, Cristina Mateescu. Today we bring you songs that speak of love and spring. Let's begin with a brand new release by Dana Florian called I Love You.
Te iubesc pentru că știi să mă alinzi dimineața. Te iubesc pentru că tu ai rouă pe gene. Te iubesc fiindcă știi să-mi pui zâmbet pe față. Te iubesc și grăbit și așezat și alenă. Te iubesc cu o iubire nebună, dar dulce. Te iubesc ca și când lumea mea ar pieri. Te iubesc cum albina la floare se duce. Te iubesc neîncetat, fie noapte sau zi. Te iubesc cu ardoare, te iubesc cu credință. Te iubesc liniștit, te iubesc clocotind. Te iubesc sufocând.
We continue with an older song from 1972, a folk-inspired... Choice is a song called Love Doesn't Go on Holiday, sung by WLRI, someone who is comfortable in a variety of genres, from opera and operetta to jazz.
Somnul ți-l veghez și-n gând mă rog să-ți fie bine, să pot cu tine să visez. Tu pentru mine ești același, mai drag cu fiecare zi. Ești repetabil la minune și rostul meu de a trăi. Dragostea nu ia vacanță, ea nu pleacă nicăieri, e între noi ca o lumină și acum la fel ca ieri. Dragostea nu ia vacanță, stă mereu aici cu noi, ce-a legat nu mai dezleagă, suntem unul amândoi. E un noroc să fim alături și azi când ani au mai trecut, ochii au încă strălucirea din clipa când ne-am cunoscut. Stăm mână-n mână în poveste, prin tine viața mea-o trăiesc și-ți spun a nu știu câta oară.
We end with another optimistic love song and a band called Hara, who will be playing a piece entitled Love is Like a Bar of Chocolate.
Nu știu cum să trec de ambalaj, dar dragostea, ciocolată. Nu mă pot lăsa de gustul ei, dulce și amară câteodată. Cine mai vrea, mai vrea cineva să fie ciocolată mea, să fie ciocolată mea, să fie ciocolată mea. S-a întâmplat de multe ori, îmi spui, să-l cunoști pe făt frumos și apoi pe soția lui, dar eu stau în fața ta puimac. Nu știu de ce sunt aici și de ce am fluturi în stomac, dar dragostea e ciocolată. Nu mă pot lăsa de gustul ei, dulce și amară câteodată. Cine mai vrea cineva să fie ciocolată mea, să fie ciocolată mea, să fie ciocolată mea, să fie ciocolată mea, să fie ciocolată mea. Everybody go now.
Living Romania. This is Bucharest Radio Romania International. Listeners Letterbox.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Listeners Letterbox, in which we live through the letters and emails that we have received from you this past week. I'm your host, Elena Enake. The first letter that we acknowledge today was sent in by Anders Ernest, a listener from Australia. Here is what he has written. I'm incredibly pleased to send this letter to you at Radio Romania International, giving receipt of reception of your service and entering the competition Govora Spa Tourism at European level run by RRI. I would also like to express my gratitude that Radio Romania International still broadcasts with high power in the shortwave bands. You bring information on Romania and Europe to an audience that otherwise would not receive it. I hope you forgive me for typing my correspondence, as my handwriting can be rather poor. I hope your broadcasts continue for many more years. Yours, Anders Ernest. Thanks for your letter, Ernest. Either typed or handwritten, we read all your messages and letters with the same pleasure, so don't worry about it. We are glad you entered the Govora competition. Good luck and thank you for writing to us. We next say hello to Sudhir Pandey, who has written, First of all, I thank you very much for reading my letter in the DX mailbag. It was a nice moment for me when you have read my letter. I have enjoyed your program World of Culture about Vladimir Cosma and his contribution to music, and I really appreciated the violinist. He has made a bridge between the French and Romanian cultures. Also, all that jazz was awesome. I would appreciate a QSL card if you find the program details are correct. Kind regards and best wishes. Thank you, Sudhir Pandey, for your message and for the reception report that you've submitted. A QSL card is already on its way to you. Keep on listening to our programs. Thanks again. Kei Saito from Japan wrote, quote, "It is with great pleasure that I listen to your programs. Thank you very much for always broadcasting an English program for Japan." Unquote. Our listener from Japan also sent us a comprehensive reception report. Thank you for that and for tuning in to RRI. We'll verify your reception report with a QSL card. Also from Japan, Shinsei Yagura has written, "Hello everyone of the staff. I will do the 10th report on October 2018. I enjoy music and DX mailbag in good condition. I will continue to listen to you, enjoy the program, and I would like to check the reception status. I am busy and I'm sorry that my report is very late all the time. Always thank you for issuing a beautiful QSL. We thank you, Shinsei Agura. Keep on listening to us and sending us your feedback. Time now for some music. Listen to Andrea Balan featuring Edward Sanda with their song entitled On My Way.
You are listening to Radio Romania International.
Adevăr, noi încă mai jucăm același rol. Deci grăbită, nu e chiar nimic întâmplător.
Tu spui că amândoi am fi greșit, vrei să împărțim din ala doi și contemplând la minus infinit aduci un teatru de război. Îmi spus că o să doară puțin, că o să doară și o să treacă, dar ai plecat așa senin, tu om cu inima de piatră. Îmi spus că o să doară puțin, că o să doară și o să treacă, dar ai plecat așa senin, dar ai plecat așa. Semn bun să arată dimineața, alt drum care să-mi schimbe viața. Simt cum se înclină balanța, pe drum, pe drum, pe drum, hei. Semn bun să arată dimineața, alt drum care să-mi schimbe viața. Simt cum se înclină balanța, pe drum, pe drum, pe drum, hei.
Rătăcesc cu tine în suflet, cum să mă opresc? Nu pot fi așa cum îți dorești, dar mai greșesc.
Tu spui că amândoi am fi greșit, vrei să împărțim din ala doi și contemplând la minus infinit aduci un teatru de război. Mi-ai spus că o să doară puțin, că o să doară și o să treacă, dar ai plecat așa senin, tu om cu inima de piatră. Mi-ai spus că o să doară puțin, că o să doară și o să treacă, dar ai plecat așa senin, dar ai plecat așa. Mi-ai spus că o să doară puțin, că o să doară și o să treacă, dar ai plecat așa senin, tu om cu inima de piatră. Mi-ai spus că o să doară puțin, că o să doară și o să treacă, dar ai plecat așa senin, dar ai plecat așa. Semn bun să arată dimineața, alt drum care să-mi schimbe viața. Simt cum se înclină balanța, pe drum, pe drum, pe drum, hei. Semn bun să arată dimineața, alt drum.
You are tuned to Bucharest, Radio Romania International. Listeners' letterbox continues. Mahejain from India has written, Hello, Radio Romania International. Every year, World Radio Day reminds me of the true radio days, the good old days when there used to exist real radios. Now, radio stations worldwide are leaving radio, particularly shortwave band. They are turning themselves into internet stream only. But I feel very proud that RRI is still on air and with on shortwave radio. You have very friendly and loving presenters, broadcasters and all team members. We are really very lucky to have your company whenever in the morning I turn the dial. Radio, particularly RRI, gives us a platform for democratic dialogue and debate over global issues, be it so-called migration of people to West, Syrian crisis, Brexit and the likes. Radio, particularly RRI, brings news and views from all over the globe, which in turn brings tolerance towards different gender, religious beliefs, food that people eat, clothes they wear, and so on. Thus, radio has a great caliber to create a tolerant and peaceful global society. Indeed, I'm hopeful radio will not vanish but evolve into new avatar with changing technologies. And keep the global listeners aware, active and responsible citizens not only of their own nation but also of this earth. Thank you, Mahesh, for your beautiful message. Looking forward to the next one. John Doherty from the US has sent us the following message. Hello, as I write this, I am listening to some lovely classical music on 5910 kHz, and I believe it is Radio Romania International on February 17, 2019. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, the US, listening indoors. The reception is somewhat quiet with noise, but not bad considering I'm listening indoors on a portable. If this is your station and the QSL is available, I would appreciate one to be sent to me. Thanks for writing us, John. My colleagues will check your reception report, and if it's accurate, they will send you a QSL card in return. Thanks for listening to our programs. Dear friends, that's all from today's show. Thank you for listening to our programs and for writing to us. Please keep on doing that and sending us your feedback, which, as you already know, is very important to us. As usual, we end Listeners' Letterbox with music. My pick this time is Esther Pioni, Romania's representative in the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest. But before we play the song, I'll tell you several interesting things about this event. The Eurovision Song Contest, often called Eurovision, is an international song competition held primarily among the member countries of the European Broadcasting Union. Each participating country submits an original song to be performed on live television and radio, then casts votes for the other country's songs to determine the winner. At least 50 countries are eligible to compete as of 2018, and since 2015, Australia has been allowed as a guest entrant. Based on the Sanremo Music Festival held in Italy since 1951, Eurovision has been broadcast every year since its inauguration in 1956, making it the longest-running annual international television contest and one of the world's longest-running television programs. It is also one of the most watched non-sporting events, with audience figures of between 100 million and 600 million internationally. It has been broadcast in several countries that do not compete, such as the United States, Canada, New Zealand and China. Since 2000, it has been broadcast online via the Eurovision website. And here are some interesting facts about it. The percentage of viewers for Eurovision Song Contest has been higher in Australia than in some of the competing nations. Luxembourg has won 5 times, but none of the 5 winners came from Luxembourg. 4 were French and 1 was Greek. In 2008, Russia won the grand final with the song Believe, but only came third in their semi-final. In 2016, Ukraine won the grand final with the song 1944, but only came second in their semi-final. Australia won the semi-final, but came second in the grand final. From 1978 to 1998, the rules stated that each country had to sing in one of their national languages. The first Eurovision that was broadcast in color was the 1968 contest at the Royal Albert Hall. Among the contestants who have had successful careers are ABBA, Celine Dion, Cliff Richard and Julio Iglesias. Dion won for Switzerland in 1988 with the song Ne partez pas sans moi. Eurovision Song Contest is the world's biggest music show. When Ukrainian singer Ruslana won Eurovision in 2004, she was rewarded with a seat in parliament. Listen now to Romania's entry in the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest. Esther Pioni with her song entitled On Sunday. Have a great week, everybody. I'm Elena Enake. Until next time, it's goodbye.
Sure there's no way to forget that day. So yeah,
And with that, our broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe has come to an end. You can listen to our next program at 21:30 hours UTC on 7375 kHz in analog system and on 6030 kHz in the DRM system, as well as on the internet at www.rri.ro channel 1. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write an email at engl@rri.ro. Goodbye.
Listening to GCR1 News and More, globalcommunityradio.blogspot.com.
This is BirdNote. To find out if a crow can recognize an individual human face, Professor John Marsluff of the University of Washington bought a caveman mask. He wore the mask while trapping, banding, and then releasing 7 crows on campus. He describes what happened later when he walked through the campus wearing the mask.
And man, it was automatic. I had a big group of birds on me scolding and coming at me when I wore that caveman mask. You know, they scolded mostly close to where we had caught the birds initially, but over time that spread and we had more and more birds involved scolding us, and typically after a couple years of doing the walking, no more trapping, we would have about 50% of the birds we encounter scold us. So the knowledge that this is a strange-looking and dangerous face seemed to be spreading through time and space, and that suggested that they indeed were keyed in on this face, because when we wore the other mask or no mask at all, we did not get this sort of response.
Marsluff and his team conducted more detailed experiments using realistic faces and new locations. They found the birds could identify the threatening people. As for how and why the crows spread the information,
I think it's one of the, if not the most important function of a mob. It's a benefit to survival to point out and recognize challenges in your environment.
Support comes from Sasquatch Books, announcing The Breath of a Whale, Stories of Nature's Remarkable Creatures of the Deep, from the author of The Hidden Lives of Owls.
When you think of